This is a reflection on lesson 329 in A Course in Miracles, and it says, I have already chosen your will. I think I even got it wrong right out of the gate, and I just looked at it. I'm so bad at these titles. I have already chosen your will. And it's talking about God's will, which is unity, basically. So, but what really jumped out to me is one line in this little lesson was, again, I'll get this wrong too, and I'm having a hot flash, is how we're going to choose union together with, basically I choose to be one with other humans, and that we choose, which is also one with Source, God, universe, whatever. So that's all that's needed from this point. Is really the way the lesson was phrased, is that making a commitment that's all that's needed. So that's all that I'm going to put out there. I'll move through the world as if we're all one, and that oneness is the same as Source, which to me is love. So I even ended, because I'm doing catch up on a few lessons, because of being away for this week, so I'm a little behind. So I just finished a video, and that's, I think, came up right at the end, like, there's only love here. There's only love from here on out. And that's what spoke to me about this lesson too. So it had a slightly different angle in this lesson versus 328. Is this 329? Is like I choose your will means I choose love. That's God's will, is just love. That's all that's needed. So I choose it too, and I choose it in it says with union with it says us, like meaning humanity. So I choose that in all my interactions with humans. I choose it for myself. I choose it when I go into the quiet meditative prayer-like space and speak to something greater than myself. I choose it everywhere, and in all times, in all situations, and that's all that's needed. And because of what my family's gone through this lesson in the last week that I talked about in the last lesson, of being in the hospital for a week with my mom in ICU, and my dad, he's literally still in heart surgery right now. I just got updates with my family. He's a couple thousand miles away, so it's hard. I can't be there in person. So we're all on, how it is, the text and call chain, and trying not to play a game of telephone, trying to get facts. But he's doing well. He's in surgery still. It's a long one. Quadruple bypass. So with all that is going on right now, this and all that I just went through with my mom, and some of the most honest, loving, heartfelt conversations we've ever had without any defensiveness. Like, the walls are coming down. And that, to me, about this lesson really resonated with how when I infuse a situation, coming from me, the personal perspective, when I infuse every situation with love, or let's take a situation, when I infuse a situation with love, and that's all I'm giving, and I make room for nothing else, nothing that isn't love, it's amazing what I see reflected back at me. It's amazing what I see happen from the other person. And there's a softening. Of course there's a softening. I mean, if truly all that's coming out of me is love, and not even, how you mean, like, well, the other person might sometimes come back with not love. Well, that could be true. But then I would question what in me had an ulterior motive, or a slight dig, or a snarky comment, or a judgment couched in love. Like, what was it truly all love? Well, then we may not be there yet to have a softening. It may take it may take multiple interactions, but more often than not, if all I make room for is love, I feel it. I feel a softening, and it creates an opening, and that we can have real talk. We can have real conversation from the heart. There's no more judgment, criticism. Just there's nothing, no defensiveness. All the walls come down, and it takes consistency because we humans don't trust big efforts, like big displays. Like love bombing is a phrase for a reason, and we don't trust it because we're like, well, let's see how this plays out. They may feel good today. They may want to share the love today. Let's see how it plays out. So there's a mistrust, I think, that happens with us humans when we love bomb each other, when we have the feel goods and we want to share them, but we're like, is that how you really are every day? Wait, I want to see some consistency first. So, I'm turning. Hold on. But when we show up, I say we because I feel like this could be universal, but when we show up every day and say, no, still, all that's here is love. And then the next day, all that's here is love. Like, you're not getting anything else from me. And over time, maybe you can trust that I'm not going home and thinking not love thoughts about this. Like, that's a thing too, right? We're like, yeah, I see. Okay, now you've been good with me face to face, but what about not face to face? So anyway, I've thought about this a lot where it's like, honest, nothing else needs to exist. It's not a game. It's not a show. It's like, it's that energy of exhaustion where I have exhausted in my own life. I feel like I have. Maybe there's a little left. You never know. I never know. Like, I've exhausted the not love and seen how it doesn't ever lead any place good. Like never. And again, don't liking to speak in absolutes, but like, it's never led anywhere good. And then I think, okay, well, the moments I've only had love, wow, the openings, the softenings that have happened, the meltings, oh, it's beautiful. And I want only that from here on out. So that's all that's gonna get infused from me. And if I don't, then I'm gonna be like, oh man, I did it again. Let me go work on that, you know. But the intention, I'm starting with the intention is there's only love from here on out. So, and I've been trying to do that for a while now. It's just a journey. And this was the first full week of 24/7 with the one person in my life where I've been trying to get there. But have I really been trying? That's an old story too. How hard have I tried? But I found a way to truly, and it truly was, catching myself every time there was a not love thought or a not love impulse. Don't say it, because that's just old stuff that just is playing. It's like that energy of exhausted, like it just wants to exhaust itself before all that's left is love. So that's what this lesson really meant for me, is whatever the title was. Oh, when that's all like that commitment that this lesson really, I felt the way it spoke about that was like, it's a fact. We're committed. We're doing it. We're showing up day in, day out with love, because that's all there is. And that's all we all want. And we know that's all we all want, which was the other part of this lesson I loved, which is that even if I felt like, if I come into this saying, well, I'm all about that, and then I think, but they're not, what I even talked like to my family about was like, actually, I trust that ultimately that's what we all want. And I'm going to trust in that so deeply that everyone's fundamental, there's like that goodness in everybody, where some people are like, I don't think everyone's a good person. I don't even like the word good person. Get rid of that. But there's a goodness that is our fundamental, like I called it light. That's how I framed it with my mom when we were talking about it. I was like, there's that light in us, and all of it's just always there. And I trust that it's always there, burning brightly. And then when I don't feel like the brightness is there today, or I don't feel like it's there in the other person, whatever, I just know that there's something that I've let, it's like a cloud passing in front of the sun, right? It's creating a shadow. But the light, I'm going to trust, is still burning brightly. And that is a fundamental truth for me. And so I know that yeah, nowadays all I want to infuse is love, but I'm also going to trust that that other person wants that exact same thing, and maybe they just have a lot of clouds right now, right? So basic. I also told my mom, like, the analogy of, because I've flown a lot in my life, like a lot. So, and one thing that always strikes me, and I get teary-eyed almost every time, is like when we take off and we break through the cloud cover and you look across the top of the clouds and you're like, it's always sunny above the clouds if you're flying in the daytime. Like, it's just pure clear sky, sun's always bright. And I love that contrast, because down below we might have been having a real stormy gray day or something, and then you break up there and you're like, oh yeah, it's always sun. And that's an analogy, like a metaphor for how I feel we are. But my mom's like, when I told her that, she's like, I don't like flying. I'm like, okay, set that one, we're not going to talk about flying. Didn't work for her. Okay, I gotta go, my husband's calling. But I was done anyway. Bye. Woo.